All right, everyone, welcome to Unity of Stockton Sunday Talk with David McAllister.
It's
Hi,
close. It's David McArthur,
David
but that's
McArthur. I'm reading something else as I'm saying your
okay.
name. So sorry, David McArthur.
And
You
being
are, go ahead.
being back with you, as I was able to join you a few weeks ago, and seeing your faces again, it's a little bit like coming back to family and sharing wonderful things together. So I'm glad to be with you, and for a very particular reason for me. I'm aware with Reverend Sheila's beautiful work, and we share such a common background and passion, if you will. Not only is unity our foundation, but the other thing is, back in Unity's founding, the real idea behind Unity was they used the term practical Christianity. And that was because instead of just focused on ideas, it was really focused on how do we take that which really makes a difference in our life and put it to work. It was really that practical application that excited Charles and Myrtle Fillmore and the wonderful people who've come afterwards. And with our shared passion that Sheila and I have for not only unity, but also heart math and the connection practice and these beautiful techniques that have come along through which we do this, take these spiritual principles and ideas and really put them to work. That's when I come in with this group of people, I'm aware that if you're here, that's part of your passion as well. And so I want to focus on that a little bit today, because I think we are at a place in several things, both within our year that brings us up to this beautiful Thanksgiving holiday, where we actually accomplish an amazing shift in consciousness in a year in which we are being called to perhaps the most dramatic shift to consciousness that we as people have experienced in our lives. And that's because we are in a spiritual configuration that is inviting us into very deep, powerful, profound shifts. And so here we are in this setup for amazing spiritual growth at what is one of the very powerful points of collective growth, which is the experience of Thanksgiving. So it's that I want to both celebrate and also look at this passion of, wow, how do we do that? Let's just, if you will, think of what happens at Thanksgiving. Now, I know what used to happen. We, the family came together and we had this great table with wonderful food, and we got to really enjoy that experience of each other. And it took us into the experience of being thankful. Okay, we felt it. Here was this wonderful food, and all the love and care that prepared it. And then we look around, and there's parents and children and grandchildren, and this amazing group of people that surrounds us, and some of them that challenge us. And we get to be thankful for all that. We feel that. That's a beautiful feeling. And it feels nice. It's good. It's a nice feeling. But what I've come to understand as I've looked at the scientific research coming out of heart math and I've looked at what's at the core of our unity teachings, is that this is so much more than nice. It is actually a point at which we access and bring into the cycle of our creation the powerful presence of spiritual transformative energy. That this is a place where a shift in consciousness occurs, and we have the ability to make it very deep and very profound. And we're supported in it. We're supported by, not only in our family, but down the street and across the country. And people are being thankful. There's an atmosphere of Thanksgiving. Now, if you can, I'd like to make a word shift here. The word that we use to express the feeling at Thanksgiving is thankful. That's a feeling. I can feel thankful. There's a feeling that's very close to it that I would like to focus on instead. And that's the feeling of appreciation. And I want to go to that feeling because appreciation has been deeply researched. So we can look at this feeling, which is really, if you will, includes Thanksgiving and maybe expands it a little bit. It includes our thankfulness and actually adds another element of feeling to it, the feeling of appreciation. Because if you're thankful for something, if you're thankful for turkey dinner, you're appreciating it. And you're thankful for the person that fixed it, you're appreciating them. You're thankful for your children, you're appreciating them. So this feeling of appreciation is so helpful because it is one of the feelings that has been deeply researched as a connector into the heart. So if we take the feeling of appreciation, what we know about it, and I know some of you are aware of this because with Reverend Sheila, you've been studying some of the heart math information, and some of you are doing the connection practice, and there you're getting to see some of this scientific research. So in what we know, in the feeling of appreciation, when you really feel it, it causes a biophysical change in the body. The heart patterns go from what's called an incoherent to a coherent pattern, or from a disordered to an ordered pattern. Now, there's very specific heart patterns we're talking about here, and they are highly impactful on the whole biophysical system that we have. It transforms the brain, it transforms, we can measure about 6 different major biophysical systems that are transformed by this feeling of sincere appreciation. Now, I want to share with you here, in spiritual work, one of the things that we keep understanding is, as we look at the feeling world, which is part of our shift into deeper spirituality, that there are deeper levels of feeling that we reach. I can remember, doing my appreciation, my thank you card to Grandma for the bicycle at Christmas. Okay, and I wrote that, and I really did appreciate the bicycle. Now, I wasn't too enthused about writing the card. Okay, that is not a deep feeling of appreciation. Okay, there is the ability to really feel appreciation in your heart. And when you do, it impacts you. Okay, what we understand from the biophysical change, from the science, is that these systems in the body that have changed open us in a particular way. The body is now behaving differently, and it supports our connection to our spiritual nature. So when this change happens from incoherence or disorder to coherence or order, we are able to connect much more deeply with the spiritual self, with our spiritual nature, with the soul. And that lets us bring in extensive amounts of spiritual energy. Okay, and that makes a difference. When we talk about transformation of consciousness, that's what transforms it. We are transformed by spiritual energy. We are informed by knowledge, but knowledge doesn't transform us. It is the spiritual nature of ourself that lifts us to a higher level, that expands our awareness. So we're talking about a very core experience that we get to access with such support here at the experience of Thanksgiving, because it takes us, if you will, the first step in to a very deep spiritual connection. So we've got that step into the spiritual connection now by feeling appreciation. Now, and in a sense, in this Thanksgiving, we're asked to step into it in a different way. Usually it's kind of easy. We're looking around the table. Now, I don't know about you, but I have a couple virtual tables coming up for this Thanksgiving. Okay. And I got to admit, I'm going to miss that physical one where I got to see everybody and so that I could reach out and touch them. But that's, in a sense, inviting me into a deeper consciousness of appreciation. I have to make a little bit of effort to recognize the connection, make the effort to recognize how much I feel my appreciation for these beautiful people that are connecting with me in my life. And that effort helps take me deeper into this transformative feeling. Now, what happens? So let's look at this experience of appreciation at Thanksgiving. And we've all worked with appreciation. We've had gratitude lists and, putting down things we are thankful for and appreciation blessings. And, these are things that come up in just the normal practice of good, healthy spiritual focus. So we have these things. But they are like the first step in. So what I want to invite you is to consider going to a deeper step, because appreciation is a part of a greater feeling. And the feeling is that of love. Once I feel appreciation, I can really experience my love for. I can experience my love for my children and grandchildren and wife and family and, all these wonderful things, the abundance. Okay, and let me say at this time, we are so aware of the impact on our health, personally and collectively, of the virus. And it's easy to move into a real deep love and care for our people, both those who are healthy, but also through compassion for those that are struggling and for those that are dealing with the loss of loved ones. Suddenly, from appreciation, there is this huge beautiful love that connects us that we can step into. When we do that, when we move into the fullness of love, now appreciation is a part of love. If you're in the sincere feeling of appreciation, you're loving. You're in a state of love, but there's a fuller feeling of love. And the secret here is the deeper we are in the feeling of love, the more we have brought the divine presence in its fullness to impact our being. We've moved from letting this physical, social, intellectual perception of life expand to where we have now consciously and experientially moved in to the spiritual dimension of our life. Very powerful shift. I want to share a woman's experience as she went to this shift because of problems within her own family. And so I'd like to share with you a little bit about what took place for her, because I think it gives us a view of the possibility that exists for us spiritually at this amazing time. So this woman's story was shared with us by Catherine Ponder, one of Unity's wonderful teachers. And the lady shared with her that she was at a point where she was just overwhelmed. She literally didn't know how to go forward with her life. Very caring woman, mother in the family. And one of the things she was dealing with was that her husband had very close to nervous breakdown, was deeply impacted by depression to where he had almost become inoperable. One of the things that touched me in this is I'm aware of today how extensive the struggle with depression is. So you may find this a part of something in your life, or have people that you care about who are struggling with this. And here's this woman many years ago with this situation with her husband. And then their oldest son was in college, but because of the impacts on the husband and herself that they were going through, they couldn't help him any financially. And here's this young man struggling, trying to get through college on his own with no help. And the tremendous frustration that he was going through, and that she as mother felt for him. And then they had a younger son who was 12. And this was perhaps, I would think, one of the most challenging experiences for this mother. The boy was emotionally disturbed and had been under care for that for some time. But the way this would manifest for him is that he'd become quite angry. And that anger would at times explode into violence. And you imagine a tremendous impact on this family. And one of the people most impacted by this was the younger daughter, just a year younger. But because of the difficulties in her home, she was withdrawing more and more, unable to keep up good relationships with friends, not connecting with her teachers. And the mother was aware of this child, in being so heavily impacted, and really reducing the quality of her life and what she needed then. So this is a picture of the family and what was seeming so overwhelming to the mother. But another aspect of this was the woman's health herself. She had a kidney infection that kept reoccurring, and she only had one kidney. So the doctor kept warning her of how fragile she was, and her her ability even to make it through this successfully. So what happened in this woman's search for some way to deal with these things that were just overwhelming her? She came across a book. I don't know if it was Catherine Ponder's or not, but it was basically saying that love has the power to transform. And it's where we go when we really seek true transformation, true bringing real practical resolution into the challenges that face us. And so what she did, she said, I'm really going to make an effort to make this work. So she went out and got a notebook, and let me read you her words. She says, I bought a notebook and a pen. Every time I started to worry, feel sick or afraid, I sat down, I relaxed, then I wrote the name of the family member or the situation that was bothering me. And then I wrote down a decree of love about it. A decree of love about it. And this is the decree. This is the statement that she would write down to get herself into this place of love, this transformative place that we're talking about entering into through our appreciation. She kept writing, I behold you with the eyes of love, and I glory in your perfection. I behold you with the eyes of love, and I glory in your perfection. You feel that? I behold you with the eyes of love, and I glory in your perfection. Can you feel how that's not only appreciation, but it's gotten bigger. I glory in your perfection. I behold you with the eyes of love, and I glory in your perfection. Join me. Say it with me so you can hear it and your body can be touched by it. I behold you with the eyes of love, and I glory in your perfection. Once more, just let yourself feel it. I behold you with the eyes of love, and I glory in your perfection. Imagine saying that about a husband that won't even get out of bed, or a child that gets angry and violent. Wow, different. But what happens is, as she did this, as she focused on this, the ideas there, the spiritual truths under these ideas were so powerful that they would draw her into the feeling. What we know from the science is that when I can get into that feeling, the body changes. That spiritual power and presence is present in me. And when it is present in me, it's present in all around me. It was present in her. And therefore, it was present and lifted in all around her. It's present in you, and it can lift all around you. That's what we're doing at Thanksgiving. And now the amazing thing to me was she says, after doing this for 6 weeks, she really looked back and did an assessment. Now, first of all, that's amazing to me that you'd actually stick with it for 6 weeks. Okay, I'm a little impatient. Well, 2-3 days, has everything changed? but she just did this. I'm sure it began to have such meaning and help for her as she'd touch that spiritual energy in dealing with the challenges in the family. And she says, after 6 weeks, she realized that recently the husband had taken a bath, the first in weeks. He got his hair cut, and he got up and turned out some work. This is something that just seemed impossible before. And she notes that was without her prodding. Important element there. And the son in college had gotten a tax refund and a job as manager of the baseball team, which paid his tuition. So basically, he'd gotten both the cash and the financial support now to be able to remain in college. And she said that they'd gone for several weeks now without any violence from the disturbed child. Major change. Can you imagine what a difference that would mean to the mother? And that the younger daughter had returned. She was now back into a good relationship with the teachers and communicating again with friends, and returning to a healthy relationship with others. And for the mother, the kidney infections had healed and not returned. Plus, she now had the opportunity and just entered into a part-time job. So she was able to begin to ease some of the financial strain on the family. So every one of these elements, not by going out and fixing them, but by bringing in that spiritual energy and presence that transforms our consciousness. In our families, when we get together at this Thanksgiving, how much transformation do we want? The struggles that our families are in, the struggle our world is in, how much transformation do we want? There's a way to get it. This is a beautiful spiritual setup to go deep. I behold you with the eyes of love, and I glory in your perfection. Know that with the beautiful people in your life, and with those things that are meaningful for you, our world, our country, people as they seek to find wholeness and health and connection. That is the experience of bringing this divine presence into transforming the world we live in. And as you watch it happen, it's fun. Enjoy. Bless you. So thank you, Linda, and everybody, and I will turn the service back over to you.